No, it's the farmer. Ah! Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh. Oh boy, I am really high right now. We're talking about the farmer, because farmers farm marijuana. So the farmer finally arriving on Blu-ray courtesy of Scorpion Releasing after a long time being bandied about as a potential release from Code Red, of course owned by Bill Olsen, brother to Walt Olsen over there from Scorpion Releasing, as far back as 2007 and more recently through the clown show that is Dark Force. This one's got... Jeez. This one's got a doozy of release history, and not just on home video, of which this release is the literal first. No VHS, no DVD. This is it. Even theatrically, it was only put out in a limited run. It hasn't officially been available on any conventional home media ever. The exact reasoning for this has never, as far as I can tell, been fully explained. Music rights have seemed like the big culprit. Anyway, that's all the boring stuff. Point is, up to this point, it's effectively been a lost film unless you could find a place screening it or could like deal with low-end bootlegs. Now it's arrived, and well, as a Blu-ray, it is just look up the skirt here. It's fine. It's fine.
A home you can call your own and a pleasure for your eyes.
I guess you know, we can get this out of the way up top, because like, you know, it's a Blu-ray. Shockingly, with so much history and build up, the extras here are they're sparse, with the only notable one being the ability to listen to the isolated score. Beyond that, you get trailers. Fuck you. As for image quality, it's not terrible, but you can definitely tell that the sources aren't anything stupendous, while also being extremely watchable.
John, have you seen our place?
Some shots look downright gorgeous, while others look like swarms of bees in a sandstorm. It's just kind of up in the air what you're gonna get, scene to scene, mostly the good stuff, but overall it's good. Fucking good and fucking like 4 words, man. I don't have any real complaints. It looks and sounds exactly as it should. When it comes to more grindhouse-centric fare, I don't think a few lousy shots are anything to worry about. Now for the film itself. Plot-wise, The Farmer is oddly complicated while also being, well, a pretty cut and dry revenge flick into the day. First off, it's a period piece, which surprised me since, you know, it's a 1977 release, shot in 1975, about a veteran I just kind of assumed would be about, like, Vietnam, because that was a big thing in the 70s. Instead, it's about World War II, seemingly as a stand-in for Nam. There's several moments where characters refer to a war that is, and I'm paraphrasing here because I only watched it once, effectively pointless. Our titular farmer, played by Gary Conway, who also produced the film, isn't treated like complete shit, but he is certainly given very little opportunity or respect upon returning home.
One-man farm can't make money today. It just can't make money.
Now, the film starts with him on a train returning to his farm that has been run by his live-in farmhand assistant thing, I guess, Gumshoe, played by Ken Renard. Now, while on the train, Conway's Kyle Martin protests to a black soldier not being allowed to drink from the bar, and he is subsequently tossed off by the racist soldiers on board. When he finally foots it to the farm and we meet Gumshoe, it becomes very quickly apparent that what we have here is a classic white savior narrative. And before you get all bitchy there in the comments, I see you, Phil, about wokeness or whatever, just trust me on this one, alright? We'll get to it. So anyway, Kyle, he finds out very quickly that running a farm isn't particularly profitable, and the bank is on the precipice of foreclosing on the farm. So, which by the way, you know, dude just came back from the war. Cut him some fucking slack. He was fighting Nazis. Anyway, the bank, they ain't doing that either. But luck being what it is, Kyle winds up being in the right place at the right time when mobster Johnny O crashes his car near the farm. Am I clipping? God, it's too far away. Oh, I'm not even centered properly. Kyle and Gumshoe save his life, and Johnny gives him $1,500 as a reward. And Johnny's he's a pretty swell guy, all said and done. Not only is he legitimately indebted to Kyle, but it's all above ground. I mean, you know, for a mobster. I assume that this was going to be like the relationship that turns sour. Our dear farmer boy finds something out, and the mob comes after him, and Johnny's like the villain, but no. Well, it does wind up biting everyone in the keister. Johnny is a good dude, despite being a criminal.
If it wasn't for that farmer, I wouldn't be here now.
Unfortunately, fellow mobster and legit asshole Pacini is another story.
Push the button.
See? Asshole. After Johnny screws him over for $50K, dude has Johnny's friend and bodyguard Corrigan killed and blinds Johnny with freaking acid. As you can imagine, Johnny immediately knows who to call on, his new old friend, Kyle.
He's real. He's just...
Real what?
He's a real farmer.
Should I talk lower? I'm gonna talk lower. Who am I talking to? Got so much headroom. Oh my god. Bum 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 bum. Oh man, that's so loud. Oh my god, how am I not peeking at every... Oh gee. Anyway, Johnny immediately knows who to call on, his new old friend, Kyle. After all, dude's a soldier. He sends his bitchy mistress Betty to retrieve him, an implausible romance blooms, and we enter sweet, sweet revenge time. Now I'm gonna save all the spoilers for later on, so we'll stop there for now, but you can imagine where this goes. It's nothing revolutionary despite being a lost film and therefore accruing a certain level of hype, especially in exploitation home media circles. It is in the end a pretty standard film from that period with plenty of the usual pros and cons. A lot of these I'll have to save for our spoiler section, but if you're looking just to know if this is a worthwhile movie to pick up, here's some thoughts. First of all, this is not a subtle film in any real capacity. Kyle as a character is almost needlessly stoic, generally hiding behind comically out-of-place sunglasses. His farmhand Gumshoe is not terribly offensive, but seemingly exists purely to show how kind-hearted Kyle is towards blacks. The mobsters are all stereotypes, bordering on Dick Tracy levels, although that didn't bother me as much as it seems to with others. By setting the film in the 40s, those characteristics are much easier to digest, even if the acid scene is insanely over the top. And the low-budget 70s production values often hamper the reality we're meant to be invested in. What's worse here is that the gangsters are not particularly intimidating villains despite Corrigan's violent death, which doesn't help the third act's big revenge sequences that all feel a bit too easy, especially after so much build-up. Still though, they're violent and feature some pretty solid kills that are, sadly devoid of much catharsis, although that could just be a me problem. Whether this is on the characters themselves, the long build-up, or just inexperienced direction from longtime editor David Bertolaschi, yeah, I don't know. However, credit where credit is due. Bertolaschi is a very artful director most of the time. A good chunk of the time. Let's not, give him too much credit. With his editing skills cropping up quite a bit. All this might sound like I'm dogging on the movie a little bit, but I do legitimately like it overall. It's perfectly good. It's no Rolling Thunder, far from it, nor does it earn its more grotesque moments like, say, I Spill in Your Grave or Rolling Thunder again, but I would certainly call it a worthwhile addition to any exploitation connoisseur's library. Although, now that I mention it, if you're going to watch one veteran-seeking revenge flick from 1977, make it Rolling Thunder. It's a way better movie. Paul Schrader. Do I look okay? I feel like I'm not getting much light. Where's my light? This thing's always out on the other side of the camera and you can't see it. It's my little neighbor boy. God damn it. I don't know what fell. The farmer also has one very dark bit of history that unfortunately could color the film for some. Time for some spoilers. If evil mobster Pacini looks familiar to you, that's because he's played by George Mamoli, who for me is most notable for portraying the seedy talent scout Philbin in Phantom of the Paradise. He was also in Blue Collar, Mean Streets, and had a small but very memorable part in Rocky. He was also the actor whom Martin Scorsese wound up replacing with himself in Taxi Driver. You know the scene. Travis Bickle gets a fare, and it's a crazy dude talking about murdering two people, and in general being super weird and racist. Yeah, as great as Marty is in the role, that was almost George Momoli. Unfortunately, he had suffered an accident on another film set around the same time and had to be replaced at the last minute. That film was The Farmer, and while I've seen some sources point to a car stunt, I don't know where that would even be in this film. As far as I can tell, and based on other sources, it was this wire gag that wound up severely injuring his back, which makes sense. It's a dangerous stunt to perform, and frankly, not using a stuntman for that shot is downright shameful. Watching the scene, it's sad that someone's career and, in the end, life could be so horribly changed due to a completely unnecessary stunt performance. See, not only did it change the course of his career, it also was reportedly a leading factor in his death at the age of 46 in 1985. Now, I couldn't find exact details, but I do know that the accident led to him putting on a ton of weight, which is even more tragic as he had just gotten down to a more manageable size when the accident occurred. Either way, it was a tragic loss, and it makes this pretty useless mob boss character all the more frustrating. But hey, plenty of great films, and films that we still enjoy, have their dark histories that we choose to look past. Not you. Heck, I mentioned Blue Collar. Momoli got a fractured skull on that film thanks to Richard Pryor knocking his noggin. And that's nothing compared to, say, stuntman David Holmes getting paralyzed in a wire stunt for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, or the disgusting disregard for life on the Twilight Zone movie set that led to the deaths of Vic Morrow and 2 children. We can still watch these movies and enjoy them, at least to some degree. So it's easy, relatively speaking, to look past this oversight and take in the rest of the movie on its own terms. Unfortunately, well, there are some innate aspects that do sour things. If you can get past the mobster stereotypes, there are 2 big ones I'd like to bring up. The white savior narrative that I mentioned before, and well, it's the 70s. It's a revenge flick. You know there's a rape scene. And oh boy, this one's a doozy. See, Betty here, played by Angel Tompkins, she, well, she's a fucking bitch.
Oh, that old coon of yours sure got rhythm. You know, he looks like he's covered in sugars.
I hated this character, and I cannot for the life of me understand the rationale behind her romance with Kyle beyond the needs of the screenwriter. What's worse, though, is the moment that this dingus over here follows Betty to Kyle's farm while he's away and brutally rapes her in the barn before murdering Gumshoe after the latter stumbles upon the crime. And then he burns the whole damn thing down with this poor horse who is inexplicably not saved by Kyle, and some really, really gnarly shots of Gumshoe's burning corpse. And, like, seriously, with the horse, like, I mean, Gumshoe's already dead, fair enough, but, like, that seems like a smart, manly go-to for the script, to just have him save the fucking horse. Whatever. Taken in a vacuum, this isn't too bad, but Betty's sudden attraction to Kyle after the maiming of her sugar daddy, their unconvincing romance, and the proximity of this moment to their lovemaking, it's extremely manipulative, more so than I'm used to. And hey, I'm fine with sexual assault as a plot device, please don't clip that. I think that depending on the use and the film surrounding it, using this crime as a jumping off point for your story is reasonable, but it's also very overused, and like any other plot device that's both done often and deals with some pretty traumatic subject matter, you gotta do so in a smart manner. I don't think The Farmer does that. What makes it worse is that it's pretty unnecessary. Oh, my foot fell asleep. Oh my God. Oh God, it's my whole leg. Oh, balls. Oh my God. What makes it worse is that it's pretty unnecessary thanks in small part to the ending. Okay, so I mentioned before that Kyle has a white savior complex.
Why do you have it hanging on an old scarecrow?
Trying to teach the crows to say hero.
Yikes. Yeah, in my opinion, the better move for the barn sequence would be to have Betty still lead that one weasel from Who Framed Roger Rabbit to the barn in basically the same manner, have him attempt a murder, or you could give us the idea that a sexual assault might take place. That's a reasonable threat, and have Gumshoe save the day only to be shot in the process. Now, even better would be to have none of this happen at all and let Kyle make the decision to kill the mobsters on Johnny O's behalf based on Johnny's murder, since that's also a thing that happens. But I'm keeping Gumshoe's death because of the big twist, which I am assuming the filmmakers desperately wanted from the get-go, and therefore just has to be in the movie. That Bassini, before his death, sends an assassin to kill Betty. Now, we don't see his face at first, only close shots of his hands and his point of view, which includes this cool shot where he's smoking that I really enjoy. That's a good shot. This shot, however, is a big tell because the twist, which if you've been paying attention, you'll see coming a mile away, is that the assassin is actually the black soldier whom Kyle helps at the start of the film. Yeah, Kyle being the cool white guy who stands up for the beleaguered black man is what saves his life and allows him to live happily ever after on his farm that I assume doesn't have to make money anymore. Did he get the money in the end? Or did he just get the lady? I'm pretty sure he doesn't even get the money. Fuck, I don't remember though.
What is it?
The money.
It's not important anymore.
Which again, while obvious, would be an easy pill to swallow if it weren't for all the legwork done to push Kyle into his killing spree. Again, I think you could excise the barn sequence entirely, as well as the romance, and streamline this whole script to allow for more of Kyle's soldiering around town and killing mobsters. That time could also be used to expand on Kyle's relationship with Gumshoe, which might allow his death to feel less cheap and secondary as it does when coupled with Betty's assault. But taken as a somewhat sleazy, at times cartoonish revenge thriller, The Farmer is certainly good. Is it a lost masterpiece? Absolutely fucking not. However, the at times artful direction, unconventional choices, and one or two grisly moments does make it a worthwhile addition to your collection. Now, where's my fucking corrected disc with a goddamn commentary, Scorpion?
What are you, a farmer?
Oh, fucking go watch a movie. I'm so fucking thirsty. Holy shit.